Morning and welcome to VSA Morning Miner. It's Wednesday, the 29th of May. I'm joined by Paul Rankin. Paul, how are you today?
I am fine, thank you. How are you?
Yep, very well, thanks. There's quite a lot of news out this morning. Where do you want to start, Paul?
Well, we'll start with the VSA client, I think. Mexico mine redeveloper Sierra Madre. They put out news yesterday, TSX listed, that they did get approval from the Mexican government to go ahead and put dry stack tailings on top of their existing wet tailings ponds at this point in time. And what that will allow them to do is it allows them to start up the plant more quickly at La Guitarra and gives them a good between 8 and 15 months of additional capacity then on the three smaller dumps while they are able then to be operating while they build the new TSF4 facility. So that works out very good for shareholders as well as for the company on an operating basis in order to bring the mine to better production at a more efficient pace.
Dry stack tailings is what a lot of, and combined with paste backfills, what a lot of underground operations are moving to nowadays, as that reduces your surface footprint by injecting waste rock back into the mined stopes with cement.
Yes, that's right. They'll be doing the paste backfilling, but what it also does is it allows them to reclaim most of the water to use it back through the milling circuit. So it's a more efficient use of water as well.
Yeah, so then you've got improved water recycling, a lower surface footprint because you're putting the waste rock back underground. You should potentially get sturdier underground rock with reinforced cement, but also you can reclaim the tailings at the end of the mine life because they can have native vegetation and soil growing on them, unlike a conventional tailing stack. So lots of positives from moving to dry stack tailings. You do obviously have to spend a bit of money on a paste plant at the start. That's the trade-off.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, very good news for Sierra Madre as it keeps the startup costs low and should mean that recent 5 million loan should be enough to get test production started. Obviously, silver prices over $30 an ounce now, and the stock has been running up quite strongly, particularly from the low in March, about 26 cents a share now, up to 48. Moving on now, Paul. I think Thor Exploration had quarterlies out today in London.
Yes, that's right. Thor being the Nigeria gold producer, well, also with a major exploration program going in Senegal as well. Their quarterly results were released. No particular surprises, I would say, here from the numbers they presented. Gold recovered at the Segalola mine for the period just under 20,000 ounces, in the mill feed grade at 2.85 grams per ton. Recovery rate at just shy of 91% on gold recovery. The leach circuit tank upgrade that they had intended it has been completed during this latest period, and they have installed a 15,000 meter drill program now underway at the Douta project in Senegal. They have high hopes for Douta as being the potentially second mine for the company at this point. Cash and equivalents at the end of the period came in at $2.8 million, and their senior debt is now reduced down to $15 million. US and net debt at 14 million at 31st of March. Production guidance, they they still will produce at least 95,000 ounces during this calendar year at an all-in sustaining cost of something below $1,200 an ounce. So no particular surprises, seems to be running at steady state. And yes, they are at these prices producing gold at very low cash costs, $418 per ounce. So, really, really good number.
Yeah, indeed. Looking good there. Also, announcement out from Cleantech Lithium this morning.
Yes, cleantech, also a client of VSA, and specifically their statement was that they held a formal inauguration ceremony for the DLE lithium extraction pilot plant. That particular ceremony was held in Copiapo, as opposed, and then they had also a visit of dignitaries and local politicians out to the mine site or the DLE plant site itself. This was held back on the 23rd of May, and the dignitaries and the politicians both recognize clean tech for its initiatives around being highly engaged with the local communities. And Chile, the Chilean president, and specifically around lithium production in Chile, they have made a political point of it that they want to see this kind of uh, level of community engagement as they develop out their lithium resources in the country.
Yes, some positive supporting quotes from the local community in the announcement. Obviously, there's been a few earlier RNSs relating to the quality of the eluate that's already been produced. As you say, this was the formal opening rather than the
actual start, yes.
Operations.
Right.
But all going well there, and the eluate results from that will be used to feed into PFS later in the year.
Right.
Anything else, Paul?
Two quick mentions. First of all, BHP has asked for an extension to the discussions with Anglo American about potentially making a formal takeover bid for Anglo American. That formal bid would have had otherwise to have come out by the end of this week, but they've asked for an extension. And the second piece of news is that Ariana Resources, the AIM-quoted Turkey gold and silver producer, they have received a $20 million loan from Turkey's largest bank. It's a 3-year loan, 8.5% interest rate, and the money will be used to complete the construction for the Tavşan mine. It's Ariana's second gold mine in Turkey.
Very good. All right, Paul. Thanks very much. We'll be back tomorrow.
Very good. See you then.
This podcast has been produced and edited by VSA Capital. It is intended for information purposes and not as investment advice. The information is intended for recipients who understand the risks associated with equity investments in smaller companies. Please do your own research and do not rely on a single source when making an investment decision. VSA Capital may derive fees from this content and seeks to do business with the companies mentioned.